sixth lesson. Today we're going to talk about variables and how to optimize our code. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to Project, Scripts, double click on our player movement script, and it opens this up. So variables in essence have three steps. Step one is to declare the variable. We say, hey, this variable exists. Step two is to set the variable, say, hey, this variable equals 5. And third is we use the variable. We say move by this variable amount, something like that. So first step, to declare a variable, let's call this our movement variables. We're going to declare them on the outside, right inside the public class. So right below public class is the best place. So the first thing you need to choose is private or public. Private is going to only allow us to use the variable inside this class, inside this script, and public is going to allow any script to access it. So on this class, those are the main two we're going to use. So the first thing we're going to declare is public, and then we need to declare a type. In Unity, there are many types. In this class, we're going to be using int, which is a whole number, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to be using floats, which are decimal numbers, 1.527. We're going to be using strings, which are words. And those are basic ones. We're going to be using bool, which is Boolean. We used set bool before, right? So similar to that. And then we're going to be using some Unity specific ones, such as game object, which allows us to reference a specific object on our hierarchy. And we're also going to be using vector 3s, which are going to be x, y, z value, stored as one number, or one set, rather. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to make a public float. Remember, this is a decimal number. I'm going to name it speed. Put a semicolon there. So we've declared it. We say, hey, this public variable exists. It is of type float, and the variable's name is speed. This can be any number, any word you'd like. These are our own variables. In the first frame, we want to declare it. So I'm going to say speed equals 5. Now, something I want to tell you, if you have a whole number, 5 is fine, but as we're using a float, if I put 5.4, it will not work because it's reading it as an integer. So I have to put an F at the end of a decimal. So it's going to be 5.4F. This is now a float. But we're just going to put 5 or 5F. That's fine. So the reason we want to do this, we don't have to rewrite our code every time, say, our speed changes. If we have 20 different variables that access our speed, maybe if we touch a mushroom or a star, we get faster, whatever, we don't want to have to change this code in every single line speed is used in. So what we're going to do, instead of this 5 right here, remember, speed is now equal to 5. So I'm going to erase this 5 down here. I'm going to put speed. I'm going to do the same here. Speed. So from now on, anytime I change this speed number here, it's going to change every variable using speed. So if I hit Control S, we go back in to our Unity. And if I hit play, you're going to see it's going to do the same exact thing. But now we have an added thing, or an added benefit. If I click on player, I'm going to go over into our inspector while the test mode is still running. And I'm going to change this variable, let's say to 10. Click back in the middle of the screen here, and now I'm a lot quicker. I'm going to put it at 100. Click it, and I'm gone. Okay. So you can see how that works. Now, one small piece of advice, if you do not declare our speed variable in the start method, so let's erase this and save, you can now declare it inside Unity. Maybe. Okay, click on the player. I can now set this variable inside Unity. So let's say 6. If I press play, I now have a speed of 6. Look at me go. By the way, you might notice I have 2 windows here and 2 windows here. Please don't worry about that. This is a previous class that I've taught, so I'm just using that as reference material before I start these videos. Anyways, moving on. So we changed our speed already. That's good. Let's make another one. Let's say public vector 3. We're going to call it jump height. Okay. By the way, if you add a capital in the middle word, when you go back into Unity, if I go down here, you're going to see it's going to add a space, so it's going to look a lot better there. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, I say the first thing a lot, don't I? I'm going to go down into our jumping variable, and now instead of new vector 3, I'm going to erase all of this. I'm going to say add force, and I'm going to say jump height. Because remember, jump height is now a vector 3. So I could declare that here. I can say jump height equals new vector 3, 0, comma 5f, comma 0, or that's a perfectly fine option, or I can delete this and I can declare it in here. Maybe. Okay. Layer. Go down here and let's change this to 0, 5f, and 0. By the way, you don't have to add f in this one. Okay. And we still do the same as before. I think we were like at 7 before. There we go. All right. See you in the next one.